What's up, everybody? Well, I got another video for you guys today, and today it's going to be another unboxing video and, a closer look at this new controller I got. Now, I could have just gotten another one of those Turtle Beach Stealth Ultra controllers, but I already have two of those, and I figured, that's a little boring, so I figured, let's see what else is out there. And I saw this, and I remembered, hey, I had fun with those Wolverine V2s. The only thing that sucked is these things used to be painted on, and then they would wear off. Same thing with those buttons and those buttons. So that wasn't very much fun. I wonder if that'll still be the same way. You'd think they'd learn their lesson by now, but maybe other people don't play with their controller enough to wear all that off, but I can even go try and find those controllers so I can prove it to you. Hopefully I still remember where they are, but we shall see. In any case though, why don't we have a quick look around the box before we open it up and all that good stuff. Well, now for that quick look around the box. So obviously it just says its name, Wolverine V3 Pro. So it's a wireless esports controller for Xbox and PC. And what are some of the things that it brags about? It's got the mouse click paddles, which I like. This one has Hall effect thumbsticks, just like my Turtle Beach Stealth Ultras. And this one's got what they call hyperspeed wireless, which just like the Ultra should mean it should be no different than plugging it right in basically with the wire, which is pretty awesome. Now I'm hoping this one actually has better battery life than the Stealth Ultra. Although I always leave the stupid RGB on, which is what's killing mine. But I can only usually get like 10 to 13 hours out of that. And then if I turn everything off, like all the RGB and stuff, I might be able to get like 18. But I've never been able to get the 30 hours it says you can get. So I don't know what this one's even supposed to get, but hopefully it'll say somewhere. But then you got your little Razer logo, designed for Xbox. Then what else do we got here? Just says some other stuff. Step one shot and one level above the competition. All right, and then on the back, it just says more stuff about the Hall effect precision thumbstick, and more stuff about the mouse clicking and the Hyper Pro triggers. Cool, it's even got a 10-foot cable and a carrying case. And then on this side, it's just got for the Pro. And yeah, I believe that other one is French. And I'm not even gonna attempt to try to talk in French because I can't speak in French. That's not gonna work. And then, yeah, there's nothing really on the top besides a little grabber thing. So I think that's pretty much that. Why don't we get to actually unboxing this thing now? All right, let's get to unboxing this thing. So it's got a little thing on the bottom, or the top here. So of course we need a neat knife. This is not an expensive knife by any means, but I just thought it looked cool. But anyway, let's break the seal. I think that's the only thing we'll need that for, but we'll just leave it back there for now. And then I think I should be able to just lift that out of there. I think that's what that drawstring's for. Maybe? You're making me look bad now, box. Get out of there, you. All right, you know what? Oh, nope. There was another one, and I left that out and didn't just like stop the video and go put it away. All right, now it should just lift out. Ha, all right. Cool. All right. Well, there's even more. Or wait, or does it open from somewhere else? No, I think it opens from here. Okay, nope, I think we're good. Good. Glad I didn't just go cutting stuff. So it's got some nice felt stuff up there. All right, then you've got your carrying case. Got some more foam in there. And then you get another little box here. And then you get all your instructions and stuff back here. I think that's it. Yep, so let's get the boxes out of the way. Oop, flattened the outer box. Well, whatever, it's not like I'm gonna really care about that. So what else do we got here? First, we'll look at the boringest stuff, which is just, oh, well, stickers are always fun. Not for everybody, but you get stickers. This is probably just the instructions, teaching you how to do everything. You can even take the thumbsticks off and put different ones on if you choose. That's another cool thing about it. But all right, what else do we got here? Oh, nice, braided cable. USB-C, of course, right? Right? Yes. Because the other ones had some weird ass thing. They made it go in one way, so it was easier than some things, but still wasn't fun. There we go. That is just a little dry thing. Do not eat that. And I'm just saying that to my cat, not to you guys, but I guess you guys shouldn't eat that either, but I'm hoping most people that watch my videos know that. All right, so let's see what's actually in here, which hopefully is the controller and not just nothing. Otherwise that'd be like, damn, I got scammed. So there's the controller, but we'll set that off for a second to the side. So you got a little storage area up there for the cord, and then you got two different ones. Oh, where'd it go? Come back. Gross. Went under the frickin' fridge. Gross. I'll have to wash that off. Anyway, you've got two different ones of these. I think this is a tall, yep, this is a tall one. If you want a taller, whatchamacallit, thumbstick. And then you've got your little high-speed USB stick. So now that we got all of that out of the way, let's have a closer look at the actual star of the show, shall we? So there it is. Got little protective things over it. We can get rid of those now. But yeah, definitely pretty sleek. I don't think it has any RGB to speak of. You've got, yeah, they do have little clicks. They're not as clicky as I remember them being. And then on the back, got your little locks for them. That's cool. Then you got more thumb or more back paddles that are very clicky, and I like the clickies. And then you've got your Hall effect joysticks. Those feel nice. I don't know how long that'll last. They felt really nice on my Stealth Ultras too, but then the more I used it, started like wearing into the sides and fucking up. I don't know about that. That feels nice, but weird at the same time. I like the clicks, but it definitely feels a little off. And then these guys are clicky too. That's the way I remember it, but nope, it looks like they didn't learn their lesson. I'm pretty sure these are painted on, so they will probably wear off. And yeah, that's pretty much that. Oh, and of course you've got your little charge port. They've got that all covered for now. But yeah, that is pretty much that. So now, just for fun, why don't we compare it to some other controllers that I have lying around, and then we can control. I'll change to a different microphone so we can compare the clickies and all that stuff as well. So let's go and move along. All right, well, here's a plethora of different types of Xbox controllers. So to start with, the main reason I bought it in the first place was to replace this guy. Let me focus in for you guys. This is just the controller that comes with the Series X stock, I do believe. And the reason I'm upgrading from it isn't because it's a bad controller or anything, but I use it so much that this thing will randomly start like going down by itself, and then even worse, well, and then again, this thing, you know, you brake really hard aggressively in a video game or something, and now your brakes are locked up for a second. That's worse. And then kind of annoying, I don't know if you guys can see it, but if I can zoom in, this thing's pretty good. So yeah, see that? Pretty well used. So it does not feel very good, and then it sometimes gets like locked up in that particular area, but I just used it way too much. Got it all fucked up. So that's that for that guy. So after that, I do believe I moved on to this guy for a little while. This is just a Wolverine Ultimate. I think it's just the V1. It doesn't say V2 on it, so I'm imagining it's just the V1. And this one's got the same thing. You can like take these guys off. It's magnetic. But as you can see, I have worn off all of the things, and then this has gotten slightly discolored, probably from finger oil and whatnot. But it's set up very similarly. It's got like a little RGB bar, though. I don't think the other one's got RGB because it's not the Ultimate, I don't think. No, it's the Pro. But it's still got the same little clicky stuff. It still feels really solid. They just made some questionable decisions. And then they put their paddles in the middle, which is okay for your back two fingers, but the just doesn't feel quite as good as having them being down here, in my opinion. So that's that for the Wolverine Ultimate. So then if we move on, I went on to the Scuff Instinct and went crazy with the customization. This is like a freaking $320 controller. Even though in the inside, I think it's pretty much the exact same thing as this. I mean, maybe they upgraded some stuff, but I think it's basically the same thing inside. But at least these are built into the freaking button so they can't wear off. I think it looks dope. Only problem is, eventually this stuff started wearing out on me, and it's kind of got that weird sticky thing to it. But it was cool while it lasted, because in certain games you could go from being like that and then it would be like a literal click. So that was pretty neat. And then it's got these guys down here, so you could hit them with your fingers, kind of like that, which was pretty neat. And then finally I moved on to this guy, the Turtle Beach Stealth Ultra, which is pretty awesome. This thing feels nice. At first I thought it was metal, but I'm pretty sure it's just plastic that's kind of got a fake stainless brushed thing to make you think it's metal. And then it comes with these little sticky things you can put on there. That way if I wear them out, I can wear them out and not the controller itself. Plop some new ones on. So far I haven't had it long enough to wear this out, but this feels a lot harder, kind of plasticized rubber versus the rubber on both of these other guys. And then same thing, it can lock those in, but it doesn't have the same kind of clickies as some of the other controllers do, but it can still lock them in. These at least click. So that's cool, and then you can set it and let it charge from that, or you can charge from the USB-C as well if you so choose. It's got a little headphone on the bottom, just like the rest of them do. And then that's that. And then we're basically back to the start of the show again. And I like that. This thing feels really nice in the hand. It's got a nice heft to it. It feels nice. The only one that feels slightly better to me is this one, but I would say this one feels like it's made out of higher quality materials, personally, which is funny. But they both were about the same. I think this one actually is a little cheaper now that it's been out for a while. Actually, let's focus since you guys aren't all blurry, but the Stealth Ultra is a little bit cheaper. It was $179 now. It used to be $200 like this one, but went down a little bit. And I think this one was like about 200-ish, like 170 or 169 or something like that. But I got this one like used or something because I just wanted to try it out. And this one was definitely the most expensive of them all, by far. But they all have their pluses. I mean, this one's easily fixable and cheap. I could have just bought another one of those for like 80 bucks, but I thought that'd be boring. Let's just get something cool, so I figured let's give Razer a try again. Why not, right? But alright, that's pretty much all I had for this video. I don't think this thing has any software or anything to go through, so I think it's about time for us to go wrap this video on up. I'll go see if there's software, and if there is, we'll go get a little bit of screen recorded gameplay of that, but if not, we're gonna go wrap this thing up by, I guess, hooking it up at least and just seeing what it does. Maybe playing a little Forza or something like that, but let's go and see if it's got a software.
All right, here's the first thing you see when you launch the app for the controller. So let's just quickly cruise through this. Obviously, if I go too quick, you can give it a pause to read. You got the Razer Hyperspeed wireless, not bad. Uses the same technology, sounds like, as the Turtle Beach Stealth Ultra. Alright, well, it seems to be a pretty basic thing. So you got profiles, you can create a new one, you got all your buttons, but it doesn't seem like I can actually mess with any of them. Then you got Xbox mode and PC mode, but I'm going to use it in wireless mode, so I figure that's not going to really be much of a use for me to leave it in this mode, but if you want 1000 hertz and you're going to leave it wired all the time and never use the wireless portion, then this would probably be the way to go. Although it does say it might not, work in this app while it's active, but it is what it is. But I'm going to put it back to that mode since, like I said, I'm just going to use it in wireless mode most of the time. And then you can rename it if you want. And then we got our settings up here. So it doesn't look like you can do firmware and whatnot from this particular app. I think you have to do that from a completely separate app. I'll do that too, because I'm sure people are going to want to know how you update the firmware on the thing. And it does have a little RGB. The Razer logo is the RGB. You got your battery percentage up on the top too. And yeah, it's a pretty basic app. I think that's pretty much that. So I'd say it's about time for us to go move on to the firmware updating process. All right, so once you download the firmware updater little program, you'll be greeted with this screen. So let's just hit next. It tells you exactly what to do to get it to go into the correct mode. So I'll do that real quick here. And as soon as you do it right, the little update should, toggle on, and then you should be able to click the update. All right, there we go. As soon as you do that, it'll say an update is required if you need one. So now we can go ahead and we can click update, and then it'll just start updating, and it does take like 5 minutes or so. I don't think it matters how fast your computer is. I think no matter what, it's just how quick it can transfer the data to the controller, which I could be wrong though. Obviously, everybody else does this and it gets done in quicker than 5 minutes. Let me know. I'd like to know. Who knows? The screen recording here might be taking up some of the resources, but I imagine that's more on the GPU side than anything that would be affected by this thing installing, which would be more SSD, CPU, stuff like that. And of course, it says do not unplug or power off your computer, otherwise it'll probably brick the thing, and that would not be cool. Heck, I should have updated this on one of the computers that has an uninterruptible power supply on it. That way, even if the power goes out for a second, it wouldn't affect me. Because, we got the solar battery backups and the freaking generator and all that stuff, but it still takes a second for them to click on, because I think both things want to make sure it's not just a brownout before they go through the whole rigmarole. Although on the battery backup side, there's probably some way to just have it be basically like uninterruptible. I just don't know how to do that. Probably gotta do some research on that. The generator one makes sense. You don't want it being like, all right, I'm gonna start off. Oh, never mind, just kidding. I'm gonna turn back off. I wasn't necessary. That's probably not good for it. So that one makes sense, but I don't really see the point in the other one. Unless you'd get two things fighting and then it would make like a short circuit or something. Who knows? But yeah, obviously I'm not gonna keep the whole 5 minutes that this thing took. I'm probably gonna just take the parts where I talk and just skip around through the thing. I mean, one thing, if I wanted to prove it actually took 5 minutes, but I don't really care if people believe me or not. I'm not going to sit there and make people watch 5 minutes of an installation. That's stupid. If they don't believe me, oh well. I guess when they go to do it themselves, they can choose to believe me or not. They can set a timer, All right, almost done. 97, 98. There we go. Now we just hit the Xbox button to turn the controller back on. There we go. Update successful. Your controller has been updated to the latest firmware. Now you can just close this app and you're done. You can just get to using your controller. So now that we're done with all of that, why don't we go ahead and go play a game or something just to test this thing out? All right, I'm sure a lot of people expect me to play like a first-person shooter, some action game or something with this, but mostly what I play with controllers is racing games and what you would call it, like JRPGs and stuff like that. So I figured, screw it. We'd try this out, and it's not like a performance thing, but I figured people would be curious what I was running it on, so I figured I'd show the settings before I started playing real quick, just for the people that were curious. And now, let's get into the game, and I can test this controller out for a little bit. Alright, well, here we are in the game. And I guess since we're not doing performance testing, I don't have to be in that mode. I'm not used to driving in that mode, so I'm going to go back to the mode that I'm more used to. This is more about me testing out the controller than anything. So I'm just going to drive around like 5 or 6 minutes or something like that. Just test this thing out. Like right away, I really like the thumbsticks. They're pretty damn nice. They feel great, like even in their stock form. Now I would imagine, I don't know why I couldn't find it in the settings, but I could have sworn there'd be a way to like mess with the dead zones and stuff like that. But luckily, for me anyway, I don't really see the need to mess with that stuff, but there should be a way to mess with that. The Stealth Ultra lets you. And it also has an app that just came from like the Microsoft Store. I was going to download Snaps 4, but then I thought, maybe that's not going to be for controllers. I don't really think that thing knows what a controller is. That thing's more for like keyboards, mice, microphones, probably other peripherals that have like RGB light bars and what have you, mouse pads, that kind of stuff. I mean, maybe that's how you change the dead zones and stuff, but I really didn't want to have to run that program and have it just like taking up resources and whatnot. I mean, that other app I got probably already does too, but I don't think it'll take as many. Oh, the triggers feel pretty nice and everything too. Obviously, I'm using them in normal trigger mode so I can actually use the throttle and brake properly, but they still feel great even in that. The buttons still have a satisfying click. It's not quite as loud as my other Wolverine Ultimate, but it is what it is. But the only thing lame right off the bat that I can tell you is I can guarantee, just like my other one, these damn symbols are going to wear off and then it's going to look not as great. I don't need them because I know where all the keys are. Even though I game on all sorts of different things, I still remember where all the keys are for everything. Alright, that's enough drifting around the tree. Oh, I guess Missy's going up to a tree. I thought I was going to get some lap time. Oh well, I guess I'll just hit this bowl then. Well, luckily, we can just reverse that real quick. Can't do that in real life, though. Oh, let's not get into a head-on collision. Yeah, this controller's great. It's got a nice heft to it. some people might not like that. Some people like the whole lighter thing. I don't really care one way or the other. Like, I like my mice being light, but with a controller, I don't really care if it's heavy or if it's light. I mean, the thing could be 5 pounds, and as long as, like, everything feels great on it, I'd use it. Now, I probably wouldn't want to sit in bed holding it over my head or anything. Lose control of that, and 5 pounds in your face would not feel very good, but... I don't really know how you could be in that mode unless your TV's on the ceiling, though, so kind of a weird way to be using it. But I was just using it as a silly example anyway. Oh. No, I didn't hit the tree. I thought I was gonna freaking T-bone that tree. But alright though, I think that's plenty. Why don't we go ahead and go wrap this video on up now?
Well, alright guys, that is a wrap for this video. And yeah, the Razer Wolverine V3 Pro is a pretty damn excellent controller from what little I used it in Forza. The sticks feel great, so do all of the buttons, including the thumb sticks, including the triggers. All of that stuff feels good. The D-pad even feels pretty nice, just running through settings and whatnot. That's usually what I use the D-pad for. Because half the time I have a nasty habit of like moving the thumbstick too fast, and then sometimes it'll bounce back and go up a setting or two. And that's no fun. That's why I just started using the D-pad. Then I never had that problem until my old controller started being like, alright, we're gonna go down super fast. Like you clicked 1,000 times. I'm like, oh, guess the D-pad's about had it, huh? But in any case though, very good controller for the price from what I've seen so far. Obviously it's a little pricey at 200 bucks, but the only thing I would say is I really wish they would have made the A, B, Y, and X buttons like a normal Xbox where it's like behind. They still could have done their font, but just put it behind some glass like inside. I know that would have taken more money, but for 200 bucks, it's a little annoying to have like thing basically have a sticker on it or it just wears off eventually. I already know it's going to happen eventually one day, but whatever. I at least know what the keys are. I don't need them to be labeled. I just think that's a little cheap for such an expensive controller. That's just my opinion. But in any case though, that's all I got for you guys for this particular video. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video because I sure as hell enjoyed making it for you guys. And until the next video, peace out guys.